Thank you so much for staying with Eve through this 23 till I'm 23 series. I'm very grateful to you guys for showing up every single day. And today is day 15, and yet you're still here. Please, if you've been here from the start, just send your favorite emoji in the comment section and I'll be there to reply. So let's get right into the topic for today. The topic for today is the power of planning well. That's one lesson that I've learned within the 23 years of my life, how to plan very well. But then, while I was preparing for this topic, a question came to mind, and I'd like to hear your reply in the comment section. It's about success. So, the question is: does success actually happen by accident without intentional planning? I tried answering it, but I couldn't get myself to take a stand. So, can as well just tell me in the comment section. Talking about planning, have you ever looked at someone running on a treadmill? Like, the sight is so funny because you're putting in so much effort, you're doing a whole lot of things, but you're not heading anywhere, like you're not going anywhere. Planning directs your efforts, it gives your efforts a focus. It doesn't allow you scatter your efforts. When you have a structured plan, it gives direction to those efforts that you're putting in. It gives you a focus, and when you're focused, definitely you have chances of hitting things, like you have chances of getting things done more than someone who does not have focus. The mistake people make about planning is thinking that planning covers for life's inevitable downsides. Not necessarily. I mean, life is very unpredictable, but good planning is more like preparing yourself for what life might have in store. And the truth is, you might not necessarily know all life has in store, but then having a plan somewhat gives you a certain level of soft landing than if you do not have any plan at all. So planning does not mean you're predicting your future. It does not mean you're predicting what will happen next. It just means that you have a structure to follow regardless of what might happen. Before I read the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, I used to plan in a very funny way, and I'm so happy that my eyes open, right? I'm this kind of person that I know how to draw thoughts in my head. I know how to reach the end. Like when you're racing, I've already seen the end, but I'm just not interested in what happens in between. That was how I used to be. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It really helped my life when it comes to planning. So I used to be this kind of person that would draw out a very broad structure for my life without necessarily outlining workable steps to eventually get me to that end point. Let's say, for example, as a writer, I have a plan to write a book. I already know the title of the book. I already know how I want it to look like, but I do not draw out workable steps to eventually get me to finishing the book. That was how I used to plan before. So in my plan, I'll just write a book. The next one, I'll just write graduate from medical school. The next one, I'll just write start a business. Thank God for I don't even know. So, but after reading that book, it helped me really plan better. I don't know if there are other books on planning, but that's the one I read that really transformed my planning. The plan method I work by is to have, first off, a master plan, which is more like the generalized plan that I'm talking about. So I can have a plan to write a book by the end of this year. That generalized plan is my master plan because it doesn't really give details to how I would eventually write the book. So that's my master plan. The next plan you'd have is the yearly plan. After your master plan, you break down that your master plan into yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily, depending on how long it's going to take for you to eventually bring down your master plan to life. So for a book, let's say I want to write a book within 5 years, I'm going to break down that 5 years into one year. So within a year, I would have the monthly, the weekly, and then the daily. I would now have the goal of writing. Let's say if the book is supposed to be 50 chapters, I can have the goal of writing 10 chapters this year, right? And then that 10 chapters, I'll break it further into the monthly plan where I'll plan to write maybe one chapter per month. Then that monthly plan, I'll break it further into weekly where I'll get to write, I don't even know. From weekly, I'll also have daily. You find out that for every single day, you're taking steps towards actualizing that your master plan in the first place. I'm so glad because planning this way kind of it kind of gave me an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing per time, and it helped me to value time in seconds rather than just wasting my time. And it's very good to look out for planning tools. For me, I use the app Schedule, and then I also have, I like writing out my plans. I do not like having them in my head. It's better off to write out your plans. But if you do not like writing them out, you can use plan trackers and all of that. So another thing you should note about planning is that they shouldn't restrict you. Like your planning should be, it should be very much flexible. Note that planning is not like so point on, it's a guide, it's a guide for your life. So even if life's eventualities are not favoring the plans that you have, you can always adjust. It's just a guide. Doesn't mean because you've already outlined the plan you must always be there. Even if situations are telling you to change, you're still insisting that it must be like this. So whenever you're making a plan, it must be open to flexibility and changes as much as possible. Setting goals without a plan is just the same as making wishes. So when you set a goal, when you have a goal, create a very actionable plan towards achieving that goal, and you'll be more than glad that you did. Thank you guys for staying with me through day 15. I hope to see you here again tomorrow. Bye.